This essay example, as well as thousands of others, is available in text format on our website for free and without registration. Simply Google Ivy Panda Free Essays.
Thinking about the self as social means understanding ourselves from the descriptions and perceptions of other people. When we approach the self this way, we miss other crucial aspects of the self, which include the spiritual self, the material self, and the pure ego. Thinking about the self as social can give a wrong impression of ourselves, and in some cases, it may make us fail to understand ourselves correctly. The social self is just one aspect of the self, and it is, therefore, wrong to conceptualize the self just as social because such a conceptualization would imply that the other aspects of the self are not necessary, which is very wrong. This paper discusses the four aspects of the self named above and how they relate to each other, as discussed in the reading materials provided. The concept of self has been defined differently by different scholars of philosophy and psychology. One of the scholars who have attempted to define the concept is the renowned philosopher William James. He published many books on various topics like the psychology of religious experience, educational psychology, and the philosophy of pragmatism. According to him, the self comprises four components, namely the material self, the social self, the spiritual self, and the pure ego. The material, social, and spiritual selves largely reflect what is referred to as me, while the pure ego reflects the I. He argued that the material, the social, and the spiritual selves could be studied and verified empirically through research, but considered pure ego as abstract and, therefore, difficult to study empirically. James argued that the material self constitutes our bodies, family members, our possessions, and our wealth. The material self thus constitutes what can be seen physically but excludes those family members who are deceased because once people die, they are no longer physically present to be experienced by their living family members. The spiritual self comprises basically our belief system. It has to do with our spiritual convictions and what motivates us to believe in one belief system and not in another. The spiritual self is intertwined with the material self because it affects our self-esteem through the nourishment of our souls. Having solid spiritual beliefs enables people to lead happy and fulfilling lives. James put emphasis on the power of the will and faith. He argued that faith plays a critical role in shaping and influencing our beliefs in something or someone. His central thesis was that it was in order for our passion to shape and influence the actions of others. Even though passion may be subjective, it plays a significant role in determining how strongly we believe in something or someone. James argued that some emotions, such as pity, empathy, or disgust, are essential ingredients for our passion, which he argued could determine our actions, especially when the issue at hand cannot be decided using intellectual criteria alone. On religion, he argued that religion is only helpful if it provides some form of utility to human beings, and therefore, people should disregard all those beliefs that promise them a good life after death because no one has evidence of the nature of life after death. The social self refers to ourselves based on other people's expectations of us. The way others describe us matters a lot and also shapes our understanding of who we are. The pure ego refers to our actual feelings, thoughts, or perceptions about the world. With the pure ego, the concept of ourselves is based on our own feelings and biases. James argued that we keep on perceiving different things using our senses. These perceptions are distinct and actually form separate identities. But since we keep on perceiving, the collection of the perceptions that succeed each other can be used to define the self. To put it another way, when we do not perceive, we are either asleep or dead, and the self is not present. Although the perceptions are different, they are united by their qualities, which give us our identity. According to James, the pure ego is what makes us ascribe our identity to those perceptions simply because we always perceive, and when we do not, we cease to exist, and the self is therefore lost. He also argued that the mind is like a theater, in which various perceptions successfully make their appearance, pass, repass, glide away, and mingle in an infinite variety of postures and situations, which, according to him, gives us our identity. The pure ego and the social self are always in conflict. When the pure ego overpowers the social self, we tend to have unrealistic expectations from others. For example, we may want everybody to think the way we do. We may also want everybody to respect our opinions on all issues. This is the tendency to control and dominate everybody, irrespective of the differences in culture, education, and traditions. On the other hand, when the social self overpowers the pure ego, we are able to respect the concept of others about ourselves. We are also able to rationalize our feelings to be in line with what others expect of us. If you want to find more works like this essay on the social self-concept and arguments, head over to ivypanda.com. It has a collection of free samples with thousands of submissions covering virtually all academic subjects. No registration required to access it.